and welcome to this week's Stamping and Creating with me, Fiona Whitten. Apologies because I'm aware, obviously I know, that I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks, and I'm really sorry about that. Things got a little bit out of hand, got back from the States, had an absolutely awful week of jet lag and a headache. And then last week we had the electricians in and yeah, they turned all the power off. So we were without power for a whole day, which was a bit of a pain. But anyway, I'm here now. I'm going to share the cards that I was going to share with you last week, which are, I've called them as a side panel easel card. And it was a card that we worked on as part of the Acorns in our Monday morning craft and chat. So this was the one that I originally shared with them. And the problem is that I've already put my camera far away. And let's see. So this is the side panel, and this is the bit that turns it into an easel card. So it will sit like that, which is not very helpful for you because you really can't see it. So let's see if I can turn it so it will sit like that. So it sits flat, folds flat, which is even better, so it will fit into a standard card. This paper will be available come September. It was one of the items I was able to get my hands on early as part of the Creativity Now. So I think I have shared a few cards that I've already made with this, but this was my take on the easel using that. And then this is the one that I actually made on the morning of with the Acorn. So this is the Take to the Skies one. So if I can share it that way, hopefully you can see this. Don't know if I can move around here, so I'm watching it on my, I think that's about it. So again, it's this is the Take to the Skies, so it's paper, and then these two aeroplanes have been stamped and die cut, and the clouds here and the sentiment that have been stamped and die cut as well. The rest of this here is paper, and it is a remarkably simple card to make, and I will share with you how to make it. Now I do have, so this is the first one I made, which is sort of my template, and on there I have written all my dimensions. So the first thing you're going to need is your trimmer. So here's mine, it's the right way up. And you're going to need some cardstock. Now I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon and also a piece of Pretty Peacock, because I'm going to be using the Irresistible Blooms paper. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock. So you're going to want to cut it in half on the short side. So you want to cut it at 10.5 centimetres, because it's 21 centimetres wide, like so. Keep this piece that you've just cut off because you will use it for other bits on the card. You want to then turn it, and on the long side again, this time you want to score it at 14.9, 14.85 to be precise, but 14.9 is totally fine, like so. So that's most of your base card already done. So that's that piece. Now I'm then going to bring back this second piece that was the bit that got cut off. And on the long side, you're going to cut it at 6 centimetres. Like so. And 4 centimetres. So you've got those two pieces. And then you also want a piece that is 4 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So if you take what's left, so those are the 2 bits that I've just cut off. This was what's left. So if I turn it and cut it at 4, and so you can line this up, the 4 here and the 4 at the top, so I know it's going to be straight. This is the bit I don't need anymore then. And then you turn it and cut it at 14. So that is all the cardstock that you need to cut. There is paper we'll have to cut. So we have what's mainly the base card, piece that is 6 by 10.5, piece that is 4 by 10.5, and a piece that is 4 by 14. So the piece that you've got, which is the 6 centimetres by the 10.5, you actually want to score that on the short side at 3 centimetres. Let's move that cutting blade out the way. So remember, on the trimmer you've got both your scoring and your cutting blade. Your scoring blade is the lighter grey and your cutting is the darker grey. So if you always make sure that you've got your darker grey out the way, and it's nice that you can actually put either well away from everything. So that is that for the time being. Okay, so if you bring back the long piece and this smaller piece that is scored in the middle, you probably can't see, I think you can see the score line like that. So you just want to fold that and you want to give it a really good burnish. Like so. And you also want to give your base card a really good burnish as well. And then open it up. Now this piece, you're going to glue it so that it goes behind your base card and that piece will fold over. So if you open up that 6 centimetres by 10.5, put some glue on the back. Like so. Goodness, it's actually worked first time. I haven't had to worry about knocking it. So I've got glue on the inside on that back panel, on the bottom piece, and then you're going to glue this behind. This panel here is going to get glued behind. So here's my long piece with my fold in the middle, and it folds up like that. So this piece is then going to get put onto here, and you want to make sure that you don't go over the score line, because if you do, then you are not going to be able to close this piece. So you want to make sure that this piece here will fold over. So if you look at this now, it kind of looks like that. So that's the front of the panel that I've just stuck on, and that's my original base card. So we've still got 2 pieces of cardstock left that we need, but what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be decorating all these pieces. So I've got the Irresistible Blooms paper out. Now you won't find this in any catalogue. It is purely an online exclusive. And I need to decide what I want to use. Now I really liked this piece here, and I thought that would be nice for the back. And then, because I'm trying to keep the colours the same, so on that one, okay, right, so I'm going to put this on the back of here. So I need to cut that so it is 10 by 14.4. So this is the piece that I want. So I'm making sure that it's 10 centimetres wide. And then the question is whether or not to cut off the top or the bottom to make it 14.4. And I think I'm actually going to cut off the bottom. Let's see, so that'll be there. It's only taking off a very small amount. And I do kind of like these sort of dots and things there. So that is the piece that's going to go on here, like so. Now I have a piece here which is actually the reverse side, and I'm going to see if I can get this piece here out of it. So I know it's 4 centimetres wide and 14 centimetres long. So I need to cut it so that it is 3.5 by 13.5. So let's just double check that I do have 13.5. Yeah, more than enough, so that's good. So that's my 13.5, and there's my 4 centimetres. So that is going to get glued to this piece. Oh, so it should be 3.5. Why did I say 4? Let's see, Billy, I am. Can't even blame the jet lag. Pretty much over it now. So that's going to be that piece. This piece is going to be the piece that goes in along across the middle to form the where this panel sit. Now I've got this piece. I think that will be quite nice. So that's 10.5 by 4. So I need that to be 3.5 by 10. There's no right and wrong way about how you do this. You can, if you want, use the same paper for all the pieces. So that's the piece that's going to sit there. Now I need another panel here. So I could use this again. Or I'm trying to see what we've got left. Or that. Now what I'm going to use this again. Yes. Talk about using up all the bits and pieces. So again, I want 10 by 14.4. Now I could put that on here like a mirror. Well, that's kind of a mirror, it's not identical. Or I could just turn it over and maybe I'll just leave it like that. So that's going to be there, that's going to be there. I think I might leave that as that bit, which just leaves that top piece here, and I think again, well, I think I'm pretty much going to have to use this piece. So that's 3, so I want it 2.5 by 10. 10 by 2.5. Right, so that is pretty much now all of the cutting done. So I was going to put this away, and then all I need to do is I need to be gluing all these pieces on. So I'll start with this panel here. I'm just going to go around the edge and a bit of a squiggle in the middle. I don't need too much. This design reminds me of sort of those curtains that were around in the sort of late 60s, early 70s with the beads on. They weren't really curtains, they were just great for separating rooms and things. I remember my aunt and uncle having one in one of their doorways. It always rattled when you went through. So the trick on this is to try and get an even border left, right, top and bottom. If you're not so good at that, at least try so that you've got like a continuous border going up. So that these two pieces follow each other, like so. Okay. Now this piece is going to go on here. Do I leave it like that? Well, we're going to go busy with this, hey. Most of it will tie in. Being all the same colour, so the colours on here, as I said, are it's Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. That's that piece. This one's going to go on there. Now, this panel is going to get glued on this folding piece. So I've got this. This is my original base card. This is the piece that has been scored and stuck to the back. But you actually want to stick some paper on that when it's open, on the back side of it, because when you close it, it's going to be on the front of the card, if that makes sense. So it's going to go like that. Now this piece, it's up to you where you put it. It could be on the left hand side, it could be on the right hand side. It's really middle, not really, because you really want to be able to see the design on the back. So my other two, I have them, as you see, on the right hand side, which is what I'm going to do now, because then that means I can decorate a corner here and I can decorate a piece here. Now this is not going to be as long as the height of the card. If I fold that piece back, you'll see that's deliberate, because if it was, then you would have a problem actually closing the card. And I've just noticed that that is ridiculously skew. If it's either that or my cutting is ridiculously bad. Could be either. So you only want to glue this top portion onto that top flap. So you need to have enough glue, but not so much that it's going to make a mess, and you don't want to stick it to the inside of the card. And I just try and make sure that this gap here and that gap there is about the same. And then I'm going to open it up just to make sure that there's no glue on that, because if there is, then I would just wipe it away. So that's going to go there. When the card is open and we have this piece here, then that will go against it, because this piece here we're going to put on now, and we're going to pop it up with some dimensionals. Now, I seem to remember, what did I do with this one? It's not quite halfway up. halfway would be roughly there. I don't know, I can't actually see. It really depends on how you want your easel to be, whether you want to see some of the inside piece. I mean, obviously, if you put it all the way down here, it's going to be, I guess it would be okay, but I am just going to aim for like a third of the way up. Let's take those off. What I am going to use is my grid paper to make sure that I get it roughly in the position I want. Now this piece here is the same width as the card, so it is going to go edge to edge. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to put it there, and I just need to make sure that it's roughly in line. There, right. So now I have effectively my completed easel card. So I have my base, I have the piece that pops over, I've got my panel for the front, and I've also got the piece across the middle which will stop it from, which will actually hold this piece up. Now there are a couple of things you might want to do. You might want to put a piece of basic white on the back here, because that's basically where you are going to write a sentiment or whatever. So I'm going to cut a piece for that, which is going to be 14.4 by 10. So it's just what would be your basic inner, if you were making a normal portrait, or even landscape card. So that will fit on there. Before you stick it on, you might want to decorate it, so you could stamp, add paper, whatever it is that you want to do. But we do need to decorate still. So I'm going to keep that out. Bits of rubbish there. And I'm going to grab that other piece as well, because I need to do some stamping. First of all, I need a sentiment. And it's up to you where you put it. I put my sentiments both times on here. I quite like that. There's no reason to stop you from putting your sentiment on here. But it's nice to have like a focal point here and a focal point here. It just sort of brings the card together if you look on this one. So I have a bird here, and then I have a bird there. And then on this one, I have a large aeroplane on that corner, and another aeroplane down here. So let's find my Irresistible Blooms stamp set, along with the dies. So this isn't the stamp set. So as I said, this is an online exclusive. All sorts of things in here. So, I can't remember, no, it's just one. So we've got dies for the flowers. We've got some, this makes a really nice circular cutout, a long cutout, leaves and all sorts of bits and pieces. So I'm just going to stamp a sentiment. I'm not going to be careful with that piece, because that's the piece on the back. Let's see. We could do a thank you or a hello. Now this is actually what's on the front of this particular box is at 100%, so I know that what's inside will be exactly the same size as those. So the thank you is actually quite large. So that could go on here. No, I didn't grab any of my other dies, which was a bit silly of me. And I really don't want to go racing over to the other side of the room. So I'm not going to. So I am going to use what's in the box. And I need I'm going to keep to Pretty Peacock for the time being. Stamp my sentiment. It's quite juicy, that ink pad. Like so. And then I'm also going to stamp some of the flowers, because I think that's what I'm going to use as my focal point. I could use some of the paper, except the fact that there's no flowers in this colour. Because some of the dies do actually go with the paper, but hey ho. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, so I'm just going to keep stamping for a moment. So that can go there, like so. Maybe some leaves. Methinks I might actually need some more paper or some cardstock. Let's see, let's close that first. Cut. You need to cut that sentiment. Now I could fussy cut it. Not sure that I'm that brave. Let's see. Just going to quickly eyeball this and see. Oh, not bad. Oh, I think I will need to fussy cut it. Can't see the scissors for looking. I adjusted my stand today and I have it further up, but it doesn't need. Sorry, you can actually see my stomach coming into shot, which was not intended. I'm going to fussy cut around this quickly. I hope you've all been enjoying the weather. It's been raining here today, so it's made actually quite a nice change, although it is pretty humid. But hey, I shouldn't complain really. Saves me having to water the garden. I think it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, so we'll see. As long as it doesn't rain at the weekend. I think everybody would like it to be nice at the weekend. So I can't believe we're actually in August as well. That's kind of crazy. So I think this must be my first stamping and creating in August as well. That's not good. But hey, these things happen. Nothing was intentional, but obviously the guys that came to sort out the electricity had every intention of turning it off, but I didn't realise everything was going off at the same time. But never mind. Right, so I'm going to put my thank you there. Don't think I've done it that neatly, but hey. So being August, what have we got on at the moment? So it's time to redeem those bonus codes if you've got any. valid until the 31st. Probably a good idea to redeem them before then. Don't leave it to the last minute, because if there's a problem, 31st is a Saturday, so there's going to be no one around to help you. I mean, I would do my best, but if it's an issue with the actual code itself, then I'm really not in any position to be able to do that. So that's my thank you. Now I have these. I was going to colour them. I have some Lost Lagoon. And I have Pretty Peacock blends as well. So I think I'm going to colour these so they look a bit different. If you can hear any funny noises in the background other than my pen squeaking, it's the dog. We're dog sitting this week and next. My daughter has her friend over from Canada. They met when they were at university at Michigan State. So they're doing, so far they've been to Buckingham Palace. Where else have they been? Hampton Court, Wimbledon. They had a tour of the Wimbledon tennis complex, which my daughter said was really well worth it. I've never been to either watch the tennis or to have a look around, so she was very impressed with it. I think we were supposed to be going to the V&A yesterday after they'd been to Buckingham Palace. And they've got all sorts of other things that they're doing. They've got a concert to go to. And they're very kindly, they're taking us out to tea, me and my mother. Jenny's grandmother, so we're going out to tea next Monday in the afternoon, so that will be nice. Anyway, so bonus codes, you need to get those redeemed. This month we've also got the paper sale, so there is 15% off select packs from the 2024-26 annual catalogue. So the Take to the Skies paper that I used for one of those cards, that's included. The Irresistible Blooms is not, because that's an online exclusive, and the other one that I used as my sample, that's not even been released yet. Actually, that's not quite true. If you went to the June event, you were able to purchase it if you wanted to. It is now available to all demonstrators as part of the pre-order. So if you do decide that you want to join Stampin' Up family this month, you could actually include that in your pre-order. Okay, so let's see what we can do now with all this. I was going to die cut it all. So I've got my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That's that. Turn it so that I can actually use it. Right, we'll do these two first, the dies. So we've got that die, and then that's the smaller of the two flowers, and I need some washi tape because there's no there's no magnetic plate. So washi tape to the rescue. So just line that up quickly. that's about it. Stick that on. Stick that on. I like that you can actually put these through the mini machine, although you do have to remember that you have to cut down your cardstock sometimes. That full width would not go through. So that's those two done. Push those out. Try and reuse that washi tape. Don't need those guys anymore because this is the larger one, of which there is only one, so I'm going to have to put this through twice. So this die will cut out some of the flowers on the paper. So as I said, if you're not into stamping but you don't mind fussy cutting, or you quite like die cutting, then you could quite easily simply die cut out the paper. Let's get that line up. This will be the last one, I hope. We'll see. What's that? To one side, bring back this, so I should have 3 flowers and some leaves. So that's that one and that one. Do I want to put the leaf on there as well? And then that one could go there. So I'd be quite happy with that. I'm going to leave the middles white deliberately. So all there is now is to fix these on here. So that can get glued on, like so. That's going to go on here. Now, do I want to put that on first and that one over the top, or that and then that? I quite like it that way. So I'm going to put some glue on here. I want to be sure that the flower stays on, but I also don't want to be putting glue on where the flower is not going to be attached to this. So that can then go on, maybe that needs to go a bit lower, like that, and then that can go on there like that. It doesn't matter if it goes over the edge of that side panel, simply because as long as it stays within the confines of the card front or card back, then you will be fine. I'll put some dimensionals on that. Got something else on there, but hey, that can get on there. This one's going to go on here. I could just glue it, or I could pop it. And now that's popped up, so maybe I will just glue this. Just have it slightly under that sentiment, so that's that. So then when it's standing up, it will look like that. Now what I haven't done is I still haven't done that bit to go on the back, so I need to do that quickly. I'm just going to put one big flower on it. quickly with some, so that's some Lost Lagoon blend. I haven't actually, I've just used my stamping blends as colouring tools. I've not actually blended shades onto there. I'm just putting one layer of colour quick, simple. Obviously, if you want to spend the time with the blends actually putting in some shading and things, that's great. But I actually quite like it just like that for this card. And then that's going to go on the back. This is the top, the bit where this piece has been folded over. So I just need to put that on there. When we were doing this the other week, one of the team said that they would decorate the other panel as well, this piece here. That's really up to you. I think they felt that when you took it out of the envelope you would have a blank, but quite often when you put cards into envelopes you do have the back of the card showing, so I'm not too bothered about having that as a blank. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but it's a bit late now. I could stamp all over that so at least it's then decorated, but I'm not sure that I want to stick some paper on there. If you do, then it's exactly the same size as this piece, so it's 10 by 14.4. I do, however, need to add some bling. Now I have somewhere. Okay, so I have some Pretty Pink and it's Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foiled gems. So I'm going to use some of those. And take your pick tool because that makes it easy to get these things off. I don't have any of the small sizes left. I've only got the large, but hey, okay, I'm going to stick one right in that square. You could go completely mad with them, and then the other thing I could do, and I think whoops, a daisy, I managed to pick up is get the Winker Stella out. So I'm just going to quickly do a bit of winking on there. Give it a little bit of a sparkle. You could also, if you don't have stamping blends, you could use the Winker Stella and your ink pad to colour. That works too. Right, I think that will be fine. So there we go, that is my finished side panel easel card. Yeah, there we go. So hopefully, I hope you liked seeing that. So that's, see now if I do that, then hopefully you can see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see the Winker Stella on there, but there is some. And it stands up quite neatly, like so, and folds away quite neatly as well. So that was that one, and as I said, that was the first one, and then that was the second one that I made during the Acorns. So you've got three there, 3 different papers and things, just so you can see how you can do that. So I hope you've enjoyed that. So don't forget, bonus codes, get those redeemed. 15% off the select paper. I do have and it went out to everybody who have my weekly newsletter, a sheet that shows everything. So basically there's 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, there's 14 packs which have really been reduced from £11.75 to £9.99, just so you know. And obviously, if you're, it's not obvious, you know, I'm pointing out, if you're joining Stampin' Up this month, you will get the reduced price if you're adding any of these to your starter kit, just so you know. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I will be back next week with another Stampin' and Creating. Let me know your thoughts, whether you like this or whether you think I should have done something different. I would appreciate it, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.